The whole track was covered in dark clouds. I wanted to focus on improving, and I wasn't going to let the rain get into my head. So I just kept on pushing, and then in the final corner, I had a huge crash. Hello, welcome to another video of my 2026 season. It is Friday now. We just had the first day of free practice. We had 5 sessions and the day began with a lot of rain. The track was really wet, so that was my first experience in the rain with my Yamaha R1, with my superbike. It went quite well. Actually, during the first session I still had to really get used to the bike in the rain. After the session I felt quite confident and I knew that there was more seconds to win, and I did exactly that in the second session. I was over a second faster every lap and I was able to get my confidence really quickly. And it also didn't feel dangerous. It felt really natural to ride the bike in the rain, and that's a good thing for me because I didn't have that experience yet. So it's a good thing to have in the back of my mind for just in case it's going to rain all of a sudden just before the race. I know that I'll have my confidence in the rain as well, and I don't have to worry about that or have extra stress about it. Then the last 3 sessions of the day were luckily dry. During the first session that was dry, we still had to really anticipate whether it was going to be fully dry. So we just went out with slick tires, and once we were on the track we were able to see that the whole track was dry, except for the curbstones and the white lines. So we had to be cautious on those. And it was a little busier on the track because of more people going out that didn't want to go out during the rain. But during the last 2 sessions I was able to find my rhythm, and I was quite easily able to get back to the times I was doing before we went to Germany on the Friday, also considering the traffic that's still in the way. So I was able to kind of replicate the times I was doing back then. Felt quite confident with all tires, and I really feel like there's a lot more to get out of the track time that I have. But we will have to wait until tomorrow to see that. So it is the end of Saturday. A lot has happened today. Some positives, but also a really big negative thing has happened today. It started out with the qualifying 1. We went out. There was a lot of wind today, which made it harder for me to ride my normal times. I wasn't able to get close to my PR today, which was a little frustrating for me. I had to adapt to different reference points than I usually do. The wind was blowing in such a way where it was difficult to get to the inside of the corner, and therefore it made it harder for me to actually find my rhythm. It was also a little cloudy, some dark clouds, which just makes you think that there's maybe going to come some rain, but in qualifying 1 that didn't happen, luckily. So I wanted to try and find my rhythm, but I was a little short on some points, missed a little time in a few corners, so I came back from the qualifying with not such a satisfied feeling. just a couple hours after qualifying 1, it was already go time for qualifying 2. We went out with the same tire as we did in qualifying 1, but just after 2 laps I came into the pits and swapped the rear tire for a new one, just to get some extra feeling, softer compound. The track was a little warmer, so that allowed us to choose for a different tire. However, with that tire I couldn't really find any pace, and I was locked up after some back markers, and that costed a lot of time for me. I wasn't able to improve on my lap time, and I was a little frustrated on the bike. I wanted to improve on my lap times because I was standing in a provisional 4th place for the starting grid, and I'm used to being able to do faster time. I knew that I should have been able to improve and get on the front row. In the final minutes, the whole track was covered in dark clouds, but I didn't see any rain, and when we don't see any rain, it is our standard procedure to just keep on pushing. Even when there's a little rain, you can almost always keep pushing until your visor is already like completely covered in rain. That didn't happen, so I wanted to focus on improving, and I wasn't going to let the rain get into my head because I knew I wasn't going to be able to improve once I focused on that just for a little bit only. So I just kept on pushing, and then in the final corner, with about 3 minutes to go, I had a huge crash. I was actually thrown off the bike, so the rear side of the motorcycle lost grip, but then in one instant found grip, and I was immediately thrown off the bike, and I landed on my right foot. It didn't look really good when I was on the ground. I immediately grabbed my right foot to see where like possible damage was. I did have some pain. When the medical staff came, they really went easy on me. They didn't want me to put any pressure, and we slowly started moving towards the medical center, where they checked for more damage, maybe a possible fracture, and they were quite positive that there wasn't going to be a fracture in the foot. But we were sent to the hospital to make some photos so that we could actually outrule the possibility of a fracture. When we went to the hospital, it took some time. We were there for 1.5 hours, and they made photos. They didn't see anything in my heel of my foot. They did find a splinter in the front of my right foot, which was just separate from the bone, but they weren't sure if that was already a thing before today or that it just happened. So the stubborn rider that I am, also looking at the time schedule, I deliberately refused to get any plaster around my foot. I didn't want it to be stuck in a cast, so against medical procedure, I chose not to get any treatment for it other than some pressure on the foot. That took some time, but just half an hour before the race, we arrived at the circuit again. And from then on, I actually still had to pass along the medical center and ask for a green light to race. At the medical center, I had to stand on my toes, stand on my heels, and that's how I won over not their trust. They didn't trust me to go on the bike again, but it was my own choice, and against medical procedures, did choose to actually go out, but with the idea to just do some damage control. As long as I finished the race, I knew that I was able to get some points, and that's just really important in this part of the championship now. So I made the decision to go out. I put on my leathers, I put on my boots, which was a little harder at first, but eventually I got my foot into my boot, and then I prepared for the race. The bike was quite damaged, and it was ready just in time for me to go out, but it shouldn't have been taking any longer, which therefore I want to say that I'm really thankful for the team. They worked with 6 people around the bike, and they actually made sure that I was able to go out with a confident feeling again. I completely trusted them with the bike, and I just wanted to get myself as fit as possible for the race. So I did a lot of cooling, but once it was go time, I put on my helmet, put on my gloves, and I started going out. I struggled with walking to the bike. I was limping a little, but once I was actually on the bike, the pain was quite manageable. I wasn't in pain during riding on the bike. So I made my way over to the starting grid, just focused on getting a good start, and from then on, just seeing what was going to be possible during the race. I had a good start. I immediately made my way up into second place, so I gained 2 positions, and after that I was able to actually take over the lead. So against all odds, against all medical procedures, against all my confidence that was in the bike, I was actually riding the bike as if I didn't crash earlier this day. And after just 3 hours, I felt like brand new on the bike. I didn't feel any pain. My focus was just on riding, but I did keep my head cool and wanted to be realistic. So in case something did happen, I was able to calm down, accept the fact that that was going to be it for today, and then take home the points and see where I would be next round. Eventually, after a few laps, I was overtaken by the second place. I swapped over to second place, and I started following the leader. Wanted to spare my wet tires. It had just rained before the race, but it was drying really quickly. So I opened my throttle a little less aggressive than the leader did, and wanted to gain those seconds lost back with just rolling speed. So rolling speed into the corner, and therefore I was able to spare my tires a little, and just after a few laps I felt really confident and made an overtake once again. I actually got away at some point. I had just about a second of a gap on the second place. However, after some time I made a mistake on my own. I wasn't able to brake properly and went straight where I should have been supposed to go right. I had to give up my positions that I gained, but because the third rider was just behind the second rider, I actually had to give up that place as well. I had to lose a sufficient time to not get a penalty. So from first I was now in third place. I wanted to get back to the leader and overtake both of those guys again, but from that point onwards my rear tire started giving in. The grip was worsening each second, I'd say. Being with rain tires on a dry track is not ideal. Even though the other guys were also on rain tires, I wasn't able to keep up with their pace, and it seems like they had something right in their tires still that they were able to push. So after a while the gap became larger and larger, and I already knew that I wasn't going to be able to overtake them before this finish, as long as they didn't make a major mistake. I was perfectly fine with that. I just wanted to take home the points, and all of the points that I was able to get today were more than 0, which was going to be my reality just a few hours ago. That being said, the final lap I started riding really calm. I knew that the gap wasn't going to be shorter to the front, and I had 5 seconds to the guy behind me. He turned out to be on intermediate tires, and against my belief he somehow made up 4.5 seconds in one lap and overtook me in the last corner. I was completely blown away, didn't see him coming, otherwise I would have defended my line going into the last corner. But at just the end of the race I was surprised by him, and he took home the last spot on the podium, and I finished as 4th, which for me at first I was a little angry, didn't know why. He was coming from so far behind all of a sudden, but looking back I'm completely fine with it. I did a lot of damage control and it could have been really a lot worse today. I'm perfectly happy. I'm happy that my foot is alright for the circumstances that we have now. It is really swollen, but there's nothing broken, which causes me a lot of pain. So I will just have to get a lot of rest in the coming days, the coming weeks, and we do have a 1-month break until the next race, so I have plenty of time to get fit again and see where we're at next race in Germany.
Je mag niet kijken. Niet kijken.
Nee, nou ja, het ging dus eigenlijk best wel goed en ik doe het nu in het Nederlands, want ik denk dat het Nederlands gat in de markt is. Ik weet echt niet wat er aan het gebeuren is. Maar